are, I should say, still or already on page Beis. We entered the Oischop. We are approximately 8 lines down. The line starts with the word de-oyraisa. It's been explained a very important principle. And that is, in principle, altogether, Torah is in your pnimius. Pnimius means that you have a means to relate to it and you know what you're relating to. Within this pnimius, there are different madrigas. In general, we said that there are 3 aspects in Torah. One is called midbar, desert. Another one is called yishuv, settled establishment. And then it's called soda. Soda is a field of vegetation. Midbar means that there is, you said, there is not a full comprehension. It's a midbar. There's nothing to comprehend. It's an empty desert. Yet it is still part of Torah, which means it also has included in the general definition of what's called pnimi. Pnimi means that you are aware and can relate to that which you are aware of. What means pnimi? So we discussed this lesson and previously, and Rebbe says that this can be.
There's no coffee, huh?
There is.
That this can be explained as being the sphirot hagnuzois, Torah the way it is in the sphirot hagnuzois. The principle of sphirot hagnuzois, which we are repeating and repeating because I'd like we should sense the principle in this. On the one hand, it's gnuzos, it's concealed. Just as in the Moshel, we said a gonus, a precious stone that's concealed. You don't see it. You don't see it, and you don't demonstrate it. It does not, in any which way, beautify your person or your table or your house. Nothing. Does not have this kind of effect. On the other hand, this concealment means treasure. Treasure means absolutely there is a identifiable value to it. But the identifiable value is beyond identification. In other words, there is an element of pnimi. We say it's a stone, for example. But a stone? Why are you putting a stone behind lock and key? Its significance and its importance is such that if shown, you're minimizing, you don't understand what this is all about.
On the one hand, identifiable, on the other hand, beyond being defined.
Right. This is what he says, that in Odom there is also the Madriga, it's called Lo Yodom. What does Lo Yodom mean? Not Odom. Why do you say Lo Yodom? Say Chaya, say Malach. He says, no, it's Odom. But in Odom itself there is a Madriga, it's called Lo Yodom. Lo Yodom means the Odom element is not definable b'hasoga. It cannot be demonstrated and shown in a structured manner. This, Rebbe says, in Torah, this is what's known as the Rose Torah. Rose Torah means the hidden part of Torah. What is the function and the purpose of Rose Torah? Torah means Gil, Torah means pnimi. And if you don't know it, so how is it part of Torah? Just to demonstrate the principle in our practical life. Shabbos Mevorchim, we get up and we say the whole Tehillim. I wonder how many of us know what they're saying in the Tehillim.
You know?
Well,
How many are like that?
how many of us? I happened, I had a chance and I learned the entire Tanakh with Meforshim. It doesn't mean that I remember it, but nevertheless, I went through it. But the thing is, of saying Tehillim is not dependent on that at all.
On understanding.
On understanding, knowing what you're saying. The Eichel Gordner, I remember from you probably don't even know. Your Chassidus Gordon, he was a Gabber in a Rebbe's meeting for many, many years. Very, very wise person. So he was saying that was an Eid, an elderly Eid, who was saying something all the time. Sitting and she was saying, healing, Mishnayos, whatever you was saying. So he said, you would ask him, Rabbi, what are you saying? So he says, I don't know. I only know that I'm speaking to the one who lives forever. That is what I'm doing. This is an important statement because these rosin are present because Torah comes from a higher source than world than can be understood, and these rosin represent its source. It's total folly to try to explain the dinim of Torah on the basis of worldly practicality.
The basis. The basis?
Yeah. Whenever you touch, you see that there is something totally beyond that simple explanation. Huh?
Question on this story. Torah has to be understood then, right?
Yes. When he was saying Torah, saying Tehillim, saying words, the words consisted of letters. In other words, it was actually structured. And he was able to relate to saying it.
That's that's some element of understanding.
That's some among the pnimi. But the pnimi itself is on the level of lo yodam. Somebody just texted to me that there is noise on the line. Somebody who is on the line is not muted, and we beg you to mute your phone. This is a principle that really we can speak for hours on end. But speaking of it is the reason we can speak it because we can really say it out completely. And the reason we are speaking it, since we can say it out, is because we all have intellect. We all have seichel, chochmah, and bina, and we have to employ our own chochmah and bina. And sense that yes, indeed, when I see something, I see much more than what I see. As I said many times, there is that in sight, there is an element that you see. Then there is an element inside, and they say, no, this is not what I see. I'm being shown. It's beyond what I see. Apparently, the muting has not taken place. Please mute your phones. This is called lo yodam. The inyan of pnimius does not mean that pnimius means that it has the same structure exclusively like yours. Like we said many times, we walk by moving our legs one in front of the other. Is that what motivates, what enables us to walk? There's a rotzen element that's beyond understanding that carries us. There's the Indian, like we said from Hashem to Mokim Shelitzin Shalom Shomhu. Before you even start, you're already there. This is what inspires the walking. And it's part of the walk. I thank you. I just got confirmation that it is quiet. Okay, so we are on the line that begins with the word de-oyraisa. It's about 8 lines from the beginning of the Ois Chof. And then, towards the end of that line, there's an open parenthesis. Before that, he says that in this hasaga, in this Indian, there is no tainuk, meaning there is no experience associated with this knowledge. Normally in Bina there is hasog, there is tainuk. There is the element you broke through and you really grasped this in. Where in Rosin there is no tainuk. Then it says in parentheses, Zehu, but that is amitis bechinas tamei Torah, the true aspect of tamei Torah, of time of Torah. The word tam on the superficial level is translated as reason. But really, you have to understand that the word reason is not merely a practical cause. There is a practical meaning. What is the reason that you are sitting here? Because somebody else is sitting over there. That's not a reason. That's a direct interaction. Reason means you're sitting here because you feel comfortable over here. You feel you belong here. It's real reason. The word tam, and you started saying tam, in translation, in Lashon Kodesh, the word tam does not mean reason, it means taste. The taste of Torah. The taste of Torah means that which allows you to relate to that which you're eating. When you eat something that's tasteless and you don't have a taste in it, there's no difference if you're eating bread or sugar or salt or meat, whatever you eat. There's no pnimi aspect in this. Tam means that yes, indeed, you taste the difference between this and this. And then this is when you relate to the particular food that you're eating. And this is the beginners, the timing of Torah, the secret, the taste of Torah. It's that which allows the Torah to really percolate and permeate through your bones and through your being. She is Galilei Osit. This is the true time of Torah. She is Galilei Osit. That will be put forward and revealed La'osid in the future. And what kind of revelation is it if there's no Tainug? And the answer is the Bechinas, that this is in the aspect of Tainug HaBilti Murgosh. Tainug that is not really experienced, that is not sensed. This is, again, a phenomenal Inyan. I don't know to what extent we were exposed to this concept. On the one hand, it is built in Murgosh. You don't sense it. How do you call it Tainug? It's a Tainug beyond Hergish. It's not called Tainug because of the Hergish. The one thing that I can use, I hope we'll understand this, even though our diets have changed so much. Bread. There's an interesting thing about bread. Plain old bread. You can eat most tasty food. After a while it says, I can't eat it anymore. It's tasty, I enjoy it, but that's it. I can't. Now it becomes something that you can't even look at. You regurgitate, you throw it out. Bread, there's no time when a person gets tired of bread. Does he taste the bread? Yeah, he knows what he's eating bread. Does he eat the bread because of its taste? There's no identifiable taste, definable taste. So that the taste of bread alludes and it in some kind of relates to a much deeper inyan than the experience of taste. But it is a taste. This is sort of emotional to the inyan from tainug bilti murgash. It is tainug, but it is tainug because you sense the truth of it, the absolute truth of it, beyond murgash, not because you experience it, but because this is the primary truth. Truth is an immediate source of time.
Tainug in contrast to simcha, oneg, pleasure in contrast to happiness or anything else is already sort of built-in murgash. It's already almost not sensed, right? So
We have what inside of sense. What?
I'm saying tainug per se, tainug itself already seems outside of the gather of murgash, of what is experienced almost.
Well,
Now this element...
wait a second. That's not entirely correct. There are
No?
different madrigas in tainug.
Uh-huh.
The taste of food is tainug, but this is murgash.
The taste is tainug. Okay.
But then there is the erosion that they are. This is tainug habilti murgash. The whole inyan of tainug is beyond seichel, and tainug is even higher than rotz.
Right. That's why I'm kind of wondering why taste is a good mashal for tainug. If it's so refined, it's so not
Why?
experience.
What is taste? Why is taste enticing? Is it the experience of the palate, or because you relate to that phenomenon, or that experience? It represents a total relationship.
a total relationship.
Like it says, the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, that you take a food that in itself is bitter and a counter inviting, so to speak, sour, whatever it is. But if you present it with the proper proportion, on the contrary, it becomes something which is enticing, which brings out an excitement of life.
This is the vision of taste.
Huh?
The vision of taste.
The vision of taste. So this is, and as I say, Rosen de Torah. It's time a Torah comes out in other words, you do experience it, but the experience is built in murgash. What do you experience behind it? You experience its absolute truth beyond identification. Like we always say in Lashon from Rambam, that there is a first being. We can't even begin to relate to that statement. By us, a being has a reason why it's there. It's a response to a circumstance. This is not a response to a circumstance.
We cannot relate to it, but we must sense it.
No. How you sense it? It's not in senses. It is beyond sense.
Right.
It is in the life of the neshama itself.
Leida sheyesh motzim is a leida.
Later is that which you bring down, this knowledge into knowledge, this recognition into knowledge. That's already a function, a negation. Later she also motivation. The yellow let's continue a little bit. The yellow so this is built in time built in La'osid, in the future, this will come down and it will be bibchinas hasogas hamahus. La'osid, this tainug built in Murgesh will be so fully revealed and imbued in Odom that it will be hasoga, and the hasoga will be bibchinas hasogas hamahus. Full comprehension, not comprehension how it appears, but what its truth is. This is the Hamidbar. The Lo Yodom aspect in Odom. Obechinas Yishuv Shebetoiro.
Sorry, so before we get to Yishuv, so
Yes, sir.
in the time to come, there's going to be like a return to. There's going to be the truth of things will be seen versus how they appear, and this corresponds to Midbar.
This Midbar will be, well, at that point, not Midbar, it will be Hasoga.
So it'll be like a transformation of Midbar. It'll be the truth will come out from Midbar, yeah?
Right. The truth is that this is not a transformation of the Midbar, but a transformation of the recipient, of the Odom. The transformation of our Hasoga, of our capability.
So, okay.
A very quick word that in this regard. The reason I am inserting it because it's extremely significant, helpful, and important. I always quote in the Gemara. Gemara is constantly Omer Rava, Omer Rav Nachman. Rava said in the name of Nachman. Rava was a scholar of par excellence. Abai Rava is the basis of the entire Shas, of the entire Gemara. There was not one part of Torah that he didn't know thoroughly, that he actually worked through. And yet, Rav Nachman was his Rebbe, and he's constantly saying, Rav Nachman said to me this. What's the point of that? Is this as true? Do you know it? So say it, because it's true. What's the point that Rav Nachman said this to me? Okay, I'm going to try to explain it, but you have to really follow. Absolutely, it's absolutely true. But there was no way that I would identify this truth but for the fact that it's being given. The minute I start identifying it by personal experience, I'm losing it. That's not what I'm saying. I know it not by experimentation and by research and by logical process. Best way I can express it, Rav Nachman told it to me. This is the Indian when we say, you know, but you don't really know how you know. How come you know? There are no means of which you can explain. I got there by walking X number of steps. That's in our world. So Mashaman says, Mokim Shadu Tzoyne Shalom Samhu. It's a distance, but You were there by the power of your Rotz, and you're really there. So this will be it for this morning. Have a great day, everyone. Kol Tov.